Welcome everybody to Villains and Creeps. This is our Creepshow Season 1 full breakdown and episode review. What we're going to do, because every episode has a part 1 and part 2, we're going to break down each episode from the way I put it is episode 1.1 and 1.2 for every episode. That's how I broke it down. And we'll compete against the two episodes, which one is better. We plan to run down every four, or all four seasons, I should say, and we'll do a tier list of all the episodes. We were going to do it during this season, but I think it would be better suited if we just waited until the end and we did a whole tier list, which would be pretty awesome. I think that'd be pretty fun. Do you have anything to say before getting into it, Gerald?
No, just one of the things like I really appreciate this series. I mean, I remember watching the old school creep shows. It's refreshing to get into a series and like, hey man, this is actually really good. And it's one of those typical you watch it, it's like a B tier movie type of thing. They're
Hmm.
just kind of hokey and sometimes like the creature's like, oh, this sucks. Like like the big reveal happens, but man, it's still good storytelling. It's freaking great.
It's
I
fun.
really enjoyed them. Yeah, they're fun as hell.
Getting into the first episode, it's the gray matter. Noticing the actors and looking them up. Adrienne Bardu, I believe is her name, Escape from New York. She's one of the main characters with Kurt Russell, Tobin Bell from Saw, and Giancarlo Esposito. He's from
Yeah.
Breaking Bad. He's on Maze Runner, the Gentleman TV show. If you haven't seen it, you need to watch that, Gerald. It's
Yeah,
so
I gotta
good.
check that one out.
And there's a hurricane going on. There's characters in the store, the chief of police, there's Doc, and the storekeeper, Dixie, and they're bunkered down. They're waiting out the storm. And in walks a boy, clearly troubled, and they want to see what's going on. And they ask him, well, kind of drag what's going on out of him, that he has problems at home. And would you like to take it from here, Gerald?
Yeah, so his problems at home, the kid's name's Timmy, by the way. But yeah, his problems at home are stemming from his father. And what ends up happening, like ever since their mother died, his father's like not really been present and it's been kind of like just grieving.
Hmm.
She's trying to like the store owner, Dixie is trying to like reassure him, like everybody goes through processes different. But they obviously know he has like a drinking problem because the kid goes down there to buy beer
Every day.
every day. Yeah, it's like, oh, case of this for your father.
You got to know it's a small town because the chief of police is right there and they're letting Timmy buy
Yeah,
beer for his dad every day.
yeah, it's typical small town like mentality. It's like, oh yeah, it's just Timmy. He just buys beer for his pop, whatever. Like
Yeah, Timmy's not hanging out in the
they
back
don't even,
alley drinking beer all day.
yeah, they don't even care. So it's like akin to like back in the day where you can go buy smokes for your parents. Same
Hmm.
thing. It's as long as you had the money, the storekeepers didn't care. It's like, oh yeah, I know who this is for. Well, anyway, so he goes and buys beer. They grab beer from the back, and then it has like this nasty, like looks like well fungus based mold.
Hmm.
Dixie says it's mold because she gets mad at me. Like, what the hell? I thought you took care of this, and I can't take care of it. It just keeps coming back. Then Doc explains,
Hmm.
and she's like frustrated, but she brings a case of beer up, but it's all sticky and gross. But the money's the same way.
Hmm.
Like the kid gives them the money, and it's all nasty and slimy.
And that's hints that there's something going on in the town. And that you
Yeah,
could go back to the first Creep Show where there's an episode where there's a mold infection that's going on, and which starred Stephen King, if you remember that.
yeah, I do remember that. Was kind of I do remember the whole entire like mold infestation or whatever on his face and shit. That was kind
Hmm.
of funny. But anyway, so they finally pry out like what's going on with the kid, and the kid's telling this story to Dixie about how yeah, ever since mom died, he's not really been present. He's been really depressed, grieving they're both grieving their own way, and then like he loses his job, but he keeps drinking. Like the only thing that keeps him going is like consumption or drinking. He's like, oh, I had a bad day, crack a beer. Oh, stub my toe, crack a beer. All this stuff, while and it just keeps going worse and worse. And then like the only way they can keep money, which kind of blows my mind, is like really, mind it's a small town, but like maybe people just like don't want to like take his house away from him and shit. But I don't know. Do they live in a boarding house or like an actual house?
They live in an actual house.
Okay, because like it looked almost like a boarding house when they went into the freaking house. and they were
Mhm.
looking for rooms, like looking through rooms.
Yeah.
It didn't seem like it was or if it was an actual house, they were just renting out the rooms to other people. Maybe that's how they are keeping the house,
Yeah,
is what I
I
was
don't
thinking.
I think it was more or less that he was just having trouble to keep ends meet, and when they went to the house, it was more to have more of an atmosphere that if they were to enter a smaller house, it would be less uneventful. Like there's just two bedrooms in this house, so they had to have
Yeah,
an upstairs. I think it was more for just general atmosphere.
I'm assuming that's what it was. Like looking back at it, it's like thinking like, man, I wonder if they like rented out rooms and like some of the tenants in that area were killed. But anyway, so like the father, like the kid was saying like the only way like they can make ends meet it was like he was winning beer contests, like drinking
Mhm.
contests. It's like, man, wouldn't you like to find like a freaking place where you can make money just drinking? That'd be
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
I
Where's that
mean,
place? I'd
fuck
take
my liver,
drinking
but
again.
damn, you know? Make enough money to keep a big ass house just drinking.
Yeah.
But he keeps telling the son like, "I'm gonna quit. I'll be better. I'll be more present. I'll be the father that I was before." And like he goes to drink his last beer and like immediately starts like gagging and shit like it was bad. But then like starts maniacally laughing about it.
Hmm.
And then he just keeps drinking and then to the point where the dude doesn't even leave the house and the kid's actually having to bring back beer.
Hmm. And it
And so like
slowly
he's like,
turns into where he's giving him beer and he eventually has to give him humans in order to feed on them.
yeah, that's not even like it's kind of crazy because it's not. Oh, first part we didn't even mention the beginning of the story was that twin girls missing,
Yep.
like twin sisters missing.
The Grady girls from The
Yeah, the Grady
Shining.
girls. So like,
And there's also a poster of all the missing pets from the Stephen King books and movies. I don't know if you noticed that too.
oh, I didn't. That's a cool Easter egg.
And also when he enters, it's alluding to it's the It movie where he has a yellow raincoat on. That's
Yeah,
immediately what I thought when I saw it.
yeah, that's one thing we do have to mention in these this whole series. Like if you look hard enough when you're watching, you find some really cool little Easter eggs just kind of sprawled out through the whole thing. Like it's the director's choice. It's kind of cool. So like anything that they were like in, what was it influenced by or they enjoyed, it's in there somewhere.
Yeah.
It's really freaking cool. Like I love looking at that. And I was seeing something like, hey, there's that right there. That's cool. That's from this movie. Oh, I remember
Mhm.
that. So that I think that's just like it's a nice little director's choice. Like, oh, I'm gonna add this in there just for shits and giggles. It's fun.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so Doc and the chief go into this house and they're looking for the father. And in the meantime, like, you're still hearing like the overlay from the kid telling the story, like what the hell happened. And then like it's the big reveal, like Doc opens a door and he finds like the bodies of the two little girls and like starts freaking out. And then the chief turns around and he sees this big old freaking monster. And it's kind of cool because it's even like reminiscent of the thing. Like if you notice that like the monster had like the different heads and faces of like all
Yeah,
the stuff it's eaten and
is
absorbed.
absorbing everything.
Doc gets away from it and runs back to the diner, and the whole time, like, you're wondering what the hell's going on, because, like, that Dixie's, like, frantically typing on, like, the cash register, like, going
Mm.
wild and, like, freaking out, while what she's actually doing is doing the math of how
Yeah,
fast this thing's
it's
absorbing,
going to
like, the
spread.
town, and it's
Hmm.
spreading, and, like, it just ends on that note. Ultimately, it just states how, like, it's just gonna wipe out, like, the world in, like, so many days.
Yeah. And one thing that I love about the Creepshow, the season one, or all the seasons in particular, there's cut scenes or bumpers in the beginning and end, and they have the creeper in there, and he's either animated or doing something pertaining to the episode, and then they go into the comic books and it shows the purchase ads of some of the stuff you could buy, like in old comic books. It's pretty cool. I really like that.
Yeah, that is cool. It was in the yellow aspect, and like even with that, when you start getting into the further episodes into the season, that stuff you see stuff from like the other episodes in there somewhere. The
Hmm.
head you see
Yeah.
that you could purchase later or something.
The head. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
pretty
it's
cool.
kind of neat.
It is. getting into episode two, it's the House of the Head, and it's about a little girl, Evie. She's excited because her parents purchased a big dollhouse. She named the family in the house. It's a two parents, a dog, and a little boy, the Smith Smiths. But little does she know there's a grotesque head haunting the Smith Smiths. It's such a good story. I think that you have your favorite. I think this may be my favorite of the whole
Of the whole
show,
series.
but
Nice.
it's just so good the way that it's set up. And she starts seeing or noticing that there's a head inside the house and it's haunting the Smith Smiths, and she wants to get rid of it. She goes to the doll store where she's getting everything because it keeps on doing weird stuff or appearing, and no matter what she does, she can't get rid of it. And if you notice in the house, I don't know if you picked up everything at all, but and I wrote everything down that I could notice, that there's Bugs headphones from Day of the Dead, like where the zombie puts on the headphones. They're starting to evolve, and if you've seen the movie before, there's a Halloween pumpkin from the Halloween series. There's the crate from, I believe it's the first movie with the monster, where it has chains on it, the original crate, or maybe
Yeah.
Creepshow 2. I can't remember in particular offhand. There's Ash's, well, the recorder from Evil Dead. There's Ash's boomstick. There's Freddy's hat.
This
There's,
is all in the house?
yeah, it's all in the
Oh
house, the
man. I
dollhouse.
didn't realize all that stuff was in there. That's kind of cool.
There's Freddy's phone with his tongue in it, and it's off the hook, like someone grabbed it and listened to it, but put it down like in the movie. There's E.T.'s purse. There's a couple more. There's a chainsaw that may be to Texas Chainsaw Massacre. There's also the hitchhiker's camera, and the shining carpet is underneath the family table, which is weird in itself. So those are all the stuff. There could have been more. I know there was like a knife. I wasn't sure who that could have been to. I thought that was pretty sadistic. Like if the parents bought this, maybe the father or someone, or even the mother, was thinking, I'm gonna put all this stuff in the house because obviously the daughter was surprised by it. So do you think one of the parents is like, I'm gonna put all this stuff in it? And maybe they even introduced the head into the house, which is pretty creepy to think about in perspective.
I don't know. I don't think that. I also think like the house is just, well, the head just haunts the house in general.
Yeah. But it's pretty
And
creepy to have, like, the
yeah,
parents had to purchase all that stuff. So, or maybe the
that's what
doll
you,
maker put it in there. Maybe it was the
yeah, maybe it was just
storekeeper
one of the things that was in
who's a
there. The
weirdo.
storekeeper's like, oh, I'm gonna throw this in there. It's kind of cool.
Hmm.
I like the fact, I don't know, it's kind of interesting because like the little girl, like instead of just like telling somebody, it's like, hey, there's something weird in this dollhouse. No, she went like to actually figure it out herself and try to figure out, okay, like there's this damn thing here. You know what I'll do? I'll get a cop and put a cop
Hmm.
in there, and the cop will solve this and fix it. Because she, in her mind, law enforcement will help.
Yep.
Now, I did notice the Indian statue. That's from
Creepshow too.
Creepshow too. Yeah.
Hmm.
So I thought that was kind of a cool little Easter egg. That was like the only one I really noticed. Like I didn't really notice all the other stuff you did. That's pretty freaking cool. Like man, that's awesome. There's all that other stuff in there.
Yeah, it just gives a whole elevation to the episode. I think just having all
Oh,
that
that's
stuff, it
awesome.
makes it even more creepy.
Damn, I have to
Maybe the
watch that a
head
couple
brought
more
all that
times.
stuff in the house.
Yeah, that might be a thing too. Like it's there.
The way that the episode breaks down, she's keen enough to know that she needs help inside the house and it will animate in the house. She might not be able to see it because every time she looks at it and looks away, something different happens in the house. The family moves around or the head moves around, and she tries to warn them audibly, like Smith, you need to watch out for the head. And she goes and buys a police officer at the same doll shop, brings him back. The police officer ends up dying in the house, and you see a bloody scene, and he's dead. She goes back and gets the Native American because she was looking for a preacher or a
Yeah,
pastor.
she was looking for something spiritual. Well,
Hmm.
yeah, a rabbi or a priest.
Yeah.
And then the shopkeeper says, "Well, I got this Indian, and nothing more spiritual than an Indian,
Yeah.
type of thing."
And the Indian also ends up dead. And then she totally panics because the head's attacking the family. She takes the head out of the house and throws it in the room, and she suddenly realizes I can't have this in my house. And she searched for it everywhere, and then she looks under the bed, and the head grew to normal human size, and it's in the house, and she immediately freaks out, and she put it back in the dollhouse. I couldn't
Yeah,
remember offhand
because
real quick.
she freaked out because like the head got human size.
Uh-huh.
So like at that point, I think she realized like, oh my God, this thing's gonna kill us now. So she put it in the dollhouse and then closed the dollhouse up.
And then the next scene that you see is that she's donating the house because she told the parents
Yeah,
that she moved on, even though she still likes dolls, but she had to get rid of it. They would have thought she was insane, like we need to burn this house or whatever. That would be the most logical thing. I mean, it's great the way that it's written because a kid that has sense, because usually kids are panicking, or they're running around, they don't know how to solve things. This kid knew how to
yeah,
solve things, so I really like that element to it.
yeah. She was really mature for like her age. And
She
like
was.
instead of just telling the parents, hey, there's a creepy thing inside this dollhouse. Like we need
Hmm.
to get rid of this.
Because
Like
that would
instead
be
of
the
saying something
average
like
thing,
that.
and then the parents would have to find out about it, and it's drawn out, and but it was really summed up to her, and like that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it
So
was good.
it is out of the two, Gray Matter versus House of the Head. What do you pick?
I didn't like the way Gray Matter ended. Just
Hmm.
it just kind of annoyed the hell out of me. Like the fact that like all the oh my God, it's gonna be 7 days and this thing's gonna. It's like what the fuck, really? Like how hokey and fast this was. Like
Yeah.
I like the aspects of Gray Matter. I like the fact that like the monster essentially was like the thing,
Hmm.
absorbing everything it killed and basically kind of almost transforming, but not really. Like it wasn't able to replicate, but I don't know like how far I would have gone. The aspect of like a fungal thing taking over, that was pretty good. But man, now that you mention all this stuff in Doll, like in House in the Head, the House of Head, God, I gotta rewatch it just to see if I can find all those little Easter eggs. That's cool as
Yeah,
shit.
it's pretty cool.
Like the first time I watched it, I was like, this is meh, it's good, but now like you explained all that stuff, and like, I was thinking about it, like, oh man, I do have to watch that now to see if I can see all those Easter eggs. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah,
And I do like from us discussing now, like I do like the way like they did it and the way the fact that the little girl was actually
the
trying to figure
problem
it out.
solver. Yeah,
Yeah, she was a problem solver. So I think I would go with the House of Head over Gray Matter just because it was something fresh too. I mean,
it is.
something you've never seen before. And
That's what I was about to say. It's original.
the whole story was basically even told without having to like watch it happen, like play out.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like a scene would happen with the dolls, and it was showing, it was actually drawing you in. It's like, oh, what the hell's gonna happen to these dolls? And it was something like you didn't have to like sit there and watch the dolls move and fight this thing. No, it was like scene by scene.
Hmm.
Here's a scene here. Okay, close the door, open. There's another scene. Oh, the cop's dead. But like
Hmm.
it shows like little bits of it. Like so, like the cop up in the attic looking with a gun, and then all of a sudden closes, opens. Oh, the cop's dead.
Yeah,
Kids are all the families downstairs terrified. I was like,
mhm.
oh man, that was well done
It is.
because it was such good storytelling with such minimalistic effort. Like it
It
was
is.
really cool.
And then it was just the little girl controlling everything. The parents were useful to the point where they need to be instead of too useful. And that's what I like about it. It's just a whole separation. They were useful as in like, we heard you scream and are you okay? That was okay. And then they bought the dolls and that they're useful instead of being too much. It was the story about Evie, and that's what I really like about it.
Yeah, it was enjoyable to that point where like they don't think like she's just crazy or something, and like they're
Mhm.
not sitting there, oh my God, her imagination's running wild, and we need to stop the. No, like the father even encouraged buying the dollhouse because dolls and playing house or having a dollhouse was good for the
Mhm.
imagination. They even like, or the father even encouraged it. She enjoyed it.
And that was also my pick too, is the House of the Head. That's our winner for
Yes.
this episode round. The next 2.1 is Bad Wolf Down. And it's set in World War II era. It starts with the Germans fighting the US. By stabbing the German, it has implications later on in the story. You don't know it at the time, but it
Yeah,
will.
I realized there's something else going on it doesn't hit until later. You find out like who he is.
So it has implications later. And as he's running away after stabbing him, there's the warning on the tree says, "Beware the wolf." The soldiers all congregate. It's kind of like a detainee station, I guess you could say, detainee house.
But what ends up happening because they're in this area and they're getting kind of like, well, for one thing, they're cut off. They don't want to make noise because they don't want to alert like the rest of the Germans
Hmm.
that are around. So the captain's sitting there trying to help them all out, saying, "Hey, I'll get you guys out of here. I promise. You know, we're not gonna die here." There's a private, a doc, and a sergeant,
Hmm.
and the sergeant's kind of an asshole. Like he's just like he's more of like in for it himself. It's like, no, I'm taking care of my own ass. Fuck you. You know, I'm
Yeah.
leaving. The private gets too close to the bars and is grabbed by like this woman. He freaks out, turns around, and shoots. And it's not until he shoots that he realizes, oh shit, I just shot a civilian. You know, because there's this woman locked in the cell. They have a doc there, and the doc says, I can get to her. Let me get to her. I can help her. And the sergeant's being an ass, like, no, fuck that. The Germans heard that shot. We gotta get the fuck out of here. Screw
Yeah.
you guys. Meanwhile, the captain's trying to like hold everybody together. It's like, hey, no, we gotta figure this out. He just shot a civilian. We gotta help the civilian.
Before then,
Most
if
of
I may
them,
interrupt, they did
sure.
see claw marks around the inside of the place where they're at and also a mangled body.
Oh yeah, mangled bodies of Germans. Yeah, that was one thing. Like they kind of walked in. It's like, what the hell is this?
Hmm.
And they kind of freaked out about that. It's like, oh, that's kind of weird. They find keys, so they open the cell. They open this. Well, actually, I think the keys are just in the cell.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
were.
the keys were in the cell.
Hmm.
So like they get it. They finally get the keys and they pull it and they unlock the deal and they go in to help the woman, the doc, the captain, and the private. And the sergeant locks them in and says, you know, like basically like, oh fuck you guys, I'm leaving. You know, I'm not dealing with this shit. It cuts to this SS officer finding his dead son, and that's where you allude to the fact that the stabbing of that German is a key role, or it kind of foreshadows something did happen. So when the captain stabbed that German, he unknowingly killed this SS officer's son, and the
Hmm.
SS officer basically seeks revenge. They surround like the jail cell and stuff, like the whole entire, not the jail cell, but the whole entire building. But that comes later, comes after they find out what the hell's going on. What we find out from the woman being shot, like her wound heals, and she starts talking to him about how she's was one of them translating what she was saying?
Yeah,
Because I
it
think
was
she
the
was
medic,
speaking
I
in,
believe it was.
yeah, the medic I think was speaking, she was speaking French, I
Hmm.
believe, and she was saying how she just wanted to die and they need to kill her. She's a monster essentially.
Yeah,
That's when they find out she's a werewolf, and what she was actually going after, she wasn't going after the private to kill him. She was going after his silver cross.
yeah, to get rid of the curse of the werewolf.
The captain at this point is kind of like, oh shit, you know, I'm sorry, you guys. I didn't mean to leave you guys, lead you guys in here. I
Hmm.
promise I get you out, you know, all this bad stuff. But he was like, well, it's our last stand. The hell with it. The captain's last request was, you know, turn us into werewolves so we could kill these people. I was like, this whole entire deal, like, I promise I get you out. And like, she bites all three of them, turns them.
After they done, there's the huge battle scene, which is pretty cool. That's how pretty much it ends.
What I liked about this is like they seem to be still like pretty sentient about themselves as far as like I don't know if the female in the jail cell was like just transforming and to the point where she was just killing indiscriminately. That's why she locked herself in the cage and because
I'm
yeah,
pretty sure that's what it was.
she was describing like she's killing like children and stuff and
Hmm.
people. So like that's why she locked herself in that cage. Even at like, the end, they get like the captain gets back to the sergeant because the sergeant's almost making it back to his unit. The sergeant runs into a fucking minefield, is what it is,
Yeah, run
and
Mineville.
blows off his legs, one of his arms,
Hmm.
and that's when the captain appears to him and tells him like, you know, oh yeah, they're just getting a bite to eat with some Germans. You know,
Yeah.
Doc in the private, and then he just kills that guy right there, transforms
Mhm.
again and kills him. I really did like it because like I the questions like you have to ask about like, oh, what would happen if we did have like werewolves, you know, and like there's always tales of that shit. Even like I don't know if you ever looked into it, but there are like tales of that stuff in World War One from soldiers on both sides of the front. Like they were talking about how there was something out there killing people. And my, you know, I don't know if it was like werewolves or something, but there's always like stuff that alludes to that from like real life's tales of World War One.
Yeah.
like they were seeing stuff in no man's land that wasn't there. There's always been some interesting tales, like from just battles and stuff that were going on from soldiers.
Yeah. And if I could do a shameless plug right now, watch my Colorado Skinwalkers episode where people close to us have actually seen werewolves.
Yeah,
Might be
so
skinwalkers, it might be either one. So pretty
it's
interesting.
interesting.
I thought I wasn't too enthralled about it. It's pretty cool for what it was.
I like the concept of it, but man, the acting was really bad.
Yeah, it was. I think
Like
that's what kind of took me out of it. It
the
was
German officer, the SS officer, the father. Oh my God, he was
yeah.
freaking terrible
I mean, it
because he
was
had that.
cool, not to say that it wasn't though. Our next episode, 2.2, The Finger, and it's starring DJ Qualls, who looks like 30 different people. I don't know if you ever seen that before. I think it's pretty weird that there's that many people that look like him. But it starts with Clark, and he talks about how he walks around town, and he's one of the last people that commutes in the big city by foot, and that's just the way he likes to do it. You find out that he's divorced and he's going through some stuff, and along one of his walks, he finds a finger. The finger grows into a creature named Bob. So he puts it in the fridge, a butter dish. From there, it grows. It grows an arm, and then it grows the body and becomes Bob. As you break down the story, you learn that his ex-wife is really malicious, and so were her kids. She had a son and a daughter. He had to give up his house in the divorce, and he's living just penny to penny every day. And Bob comes in and becomes his friend, and he's sitting around eating popcorn with him, and Bob is a source of retribution for him. He had a conflict with the person that's outside that's driving a truck, and just from that little confrontation, there's balls at the bottom of the truck, like people hang balls from the truck. I think that's mad GEY, but that's just me. He gets a hold of that guy and he kills the guy, brings back a part. He also did that to his ex-wife. He brings back parts, and that's just how the story rolls down, where Bob is a retribution for him. Is it really Bob who did it, or is it him himself, Clark, that's doing the murders? I think that's the most interesting thing about it. So I'll keep the end for you, Gerald, for what
So
happens.
yeah, that was an interesting one. The whole entire deal, like the guy, the asshole in the truck, he brings back the guy's testicles.
Yeah, to the truck.
The the telemarketer, that one. See, now that's the only thing I could probably like figure that's a little bit different was the fact that I don't think it was Clark because how the hell would Clark get all the way to the telemarketer to rip out her tongue?
That's a good
You
point.
know, that's pretty far. So apparently Bob just sprouts wings and flies to find this telemarketer and rip out her tongue.
Hmm.
And it was anything that the guy was mad about, essentially Bob brings back, and this poor guy's having to like dispose of these parts. Like
Hmm.
I think the telemarketer was the first or second one.
It was the second one.
Yeah, so like he's basically using the garbage disposal just to get rid of these parts,
Yep.
and it's just getting worse and worse because every time he gets mad at something, Bob goes off and kills whatever the hell he's mad at. So
Yeah.
Bob's basically, yeah, like you said, the manifestation of his anger or his frustration. Bob loves Clark and is loyal. It's kind of crazy. It's to the point where like they end up committing Clark into like a mental hospital. He's like in a
Hmm.
padded room and stuff, and it was really cool. Like the way they did this show was really neat because like they go, he's telling the story, he's narrating himself, the story and all, and the fourth wall breaks were pretty funny because like it sit there and like I don't know if it was the FBI or just like the police were there talking to him about his ex-wife being murdered. And he's like, "Oh my God," crying, "My poor ex-wife." And then like immediately comes out of it and like walks up to the camera, and is like, "Yeah, that bitch deserved it." It's like I don't
Yeah.
care. It's like she lost everything. Now she had two piece of shit kids too. One was a druggie and one was trying to have
Push
sex
up
with
on him.
me.
Yeah.
You know, it's like what the hell? These people are scumbags. I hope they all die.
Mm.
So I like the way they narrated that whole entire deal.
That's a good point to bring up that I didn't mention, is that he's talking to the camera the whole time. He's telling you the perspective of what was going on in his life and what was going on with Bob and everything. And he ends up in a padded cell because, of course, they ain't going to believe him that this creature Bob is killing anything. So he's, it's kind of alluding to, did he do it? Was Bob really real? And at the end, he's talking about how he wish he'd see Bob again because he misses Bob. And you hear Bob seemingly coming through the window to get him.
Yeah. You hear the
That's how it
scratching
ends. Hmm.
and then it goes away. Yeah. That was a good episode, man. Out of the two, I appreciated Finger
Yeah, the finger.
over the werewolf one. Like the werewolf had a good story. Man, I didn't like the acting. DJ Quells is really good, man. I like
He is.
watching him. Like they couldn't have picked a better character for that
Hmm.
because he has just like a pretty good. He has good acting chops as far as I'm concerned. He's a good actor for that whole entire thing.
He is, and that's how it's been so far. As the first episode with Gray Matter, you kind of paid attention to it, but was it that great? I don't think that it was as good as House of the Head. And as akin to this with Bad Wolf Down, it's definitely not as good as The Finger. So it's pretty cool that, there are good episodes, but there's just one that's way better than the other. Unlike the two that we have coming up
Oh
for the
God.
third episode, they're brilliant. Getting into episode 3.1 is Hollow's Eve. The episode begins with the Golden Dragons. They have a club meetup and they're waiting everybody to gather. And it's alluding to that they gather up every Halloween, but it's more sinister than that. But you don't know it until later. So they're going house to house trying to search for stuff, and you initially think they're trying to get treats and they're just gathering up because maybe it might be their senior year of high school. Do you want to continue?
First thing I want to bring out too is the little Easter egg in this one. I actually noticed it. It was at the very beginning before
Mm.
they show Creeper watching Night of the Living Dead, the
Yeah, yeah.
original
Hmm.
1968 black and white. It's like, oh, that's freaking cool.
Yeah,
I was all Peter pated about that. I was all
yeah.
excited. It's like, ah, that's freaking awesome. It was interesting to see them come together and then having to meet the younger brother, which kind of threw me off. I was like, wait a minute, why is the younger brother separated from the older brother?
Hmm.
You know,
Because they were
not
alluding
wanting to
to
do it.
talking to him, like he's over there, and he's like, "Yeah, I have to go find him," because the older brother was talking about it.
Gotta convince him to come
Hmm.
one last time, And yeah, does kind of allude when you're watching it. It's like, oh, these are just high school kids,
Regular trick-or-treaters.
regular trick-or-treaters aging out
Hmm.
of trick-or-treating, and it's happened to all of us. I'd love to go trick-or-treating to this day if I could,
Oh yeah,
but it's kind
no
of weird
doubt.
for a grown adult to go out there.
Yeah, that's
I could borrow your grandkids maybe and
That's what I'm
go.
saying. You could borrow the grandkids and take them. Like there's so many, like we could just control an area if we wanted to.
Yeah, but so that was a really cool one. But they end up like, just going to this house, and you see these people just terrified of these kids,
Hmm.
essentially, and that was interesting. Like terrorizing these adults, walking into their house, just getting stuff, getting a muffin.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the first one because it was the second one where they got muffins, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Because they were going to houses and they were like, "This is all you got for us." It's like,
Yeah. So what the hell, really? That's
yeah.
just disappointing.
And then the people inside the house were like, You need to stop doing this." And it kind of makes you think like, what's going on that they're
Yeah. Like
so
wow,
frightened of them.
why is this happening? And it's just until they get to the last house, and like
Hmm.
the woman comes out with a shotgun, like aimed at him and stuff, you realize, oh, something else is going on. They're just taking kids, essentially. Like they're going house to house. Every year it's a new house they get to take a kid from. That's
Hmm.
what I thought it was when I first watched it. It wasn't until we got to the end of the show because I went to this. Obviously, I went to dry. I didn't know about what was going on when I first watched what was going on. It's like, oh man, this is kind of crazy. Like they're taking. I thought they were taking these kids as like a willing sacrifice type of thing.
Yeah.
I was like,
Well, I mean,
whoa,
the way that the episode breaks down, it kind of still makes you think like they might be bullies and they're just bullying people around. Like this is
yeah,
what they do every Halloween.
yeah. It's like it's their thrill, It's their
Hmm.
whole entire deal. It's like, oh yeah, I get a bully. This is the one time of the year we can bully people. Do you want to go like what we find out, like why they're doing it?
Yeah, you slowly find out that when they go into the people's houses, they complain about someone that they know is missing, one of their kids is missing. That's what leads up to the end where they're getting the final kid and they're asking where he is. The parent jumps out with the gun and they're like, well, what are you going to do with that? And that kind of makes you think, well, are they this much of badasses that they don't have to worry about getting shot or whatever? And then you learn that they're actually ghosts. They tell the story where have a flashback where they were in a treehouse. In the treehouse, they were just playing games or getting ready to go trick-or-treating that Halloween, and the kids that were bullies down at the bottom of the tree burned the treehouse down with them in it. After you learn that, you see the little brother pull up his ghost costume and he's burned on the inside. That's how you put everything together, and that's why they're hunting everybody down for kind of a retribution or to be able to rest when they're dead. They could only take one kid per Halloween, so they've been around for 7 Halloweens and they're taking everybody out of the house and they have to go put them on a tree or a post to burn them to death. And
It's
this is the
essentially the
way,
burnt tree house is what they're
yeah,
doing.
just copying the act so they could rest. And this is their retribution and a way for them to rest. And that's how it ends. They burn the last kid and they walked away to the cemetery where they're talking about we could finally rest. And they're sad because they won't be able to see anyone. And the girl, the only girl of the group says, well, I'll see you when we rest. I can't wait to see you. And that's the brother hugs the other brother to leave. And they're like, well, I know you missed our parents. I know he alluded to that earlier in the story. And it's like, I missed them too. And they go into the graveyard where they return to their graves. It's such a great story. I love
Yeah,
the story.
man, it was great. The whole entire story of revenge, the revenge plot of just going after these assholes who burned them alive.
Yeah. And it makes it even better when you learn
Uh,
that they're just good kids. And you're like, yeah, fuck these kids.
yeah,
Like,
they're just good kids and they're just nerds playing D&D. I mean, what the
yeah,
hell?
that's all they were doing. They were
And
just
these
wanting to go trick or
asshole
treating.
jock kids burned them alive. Yeah, that was such a good episode. And oh man, it was almost like a tearjerker. It was kind of sad. It's like, oh
It
man,
is.
that's a bummer, you know.
It's very sad.
That brings us to our second one in the
3.2
series.
Men in a Suitcase.
3.2 Man Suitcase.
Justin returns home from college. In the process of leaving the airport, he picks up the wrong suitcase. Within the suitcase resides a magical being. Justin, his friend Alex, and his ex-girlfriend Carla learn they have bit off more than they could chew.
Yeah, this is a cool episode. I really enjoyed this one. Like everything's going wrong for this poor kid. Like he's trying to get money, but he's also, I don't know, kind of seems like a lazy loser when
Yeah,
you watch the episode.
I don't know. It's more like he could only do what he can because he's in college.
Yeah,
That's what his girlfriend is complaining about. Like she wants more and he can't, he could only do what he can.
he
But
can't provide more. Yeah,
yeah,
good
but
Lord.
which is kind of BS because, if she really liked him, she would have stay around from him and wait until he's done with college. But that's what it is. She's kind of a, you know,
Oh,
hey,
it comes out too later because you start watching the episode and so Justin's sitting there. She breaks up with him. He accidentally FaceTimes her
hmm.
because she's breaking up with him as he's coming back from the airport. It's like, what the hell?
It's kind of like, oh, you're back. The girlfriend is like, oh, you're back. Well, I'm sorry to tell you, I can't be with you anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna be with you anymore because of this. So like he comes back, he grabs a suitcase, brings it down. He ends up just getting high, smoking, eating food and shit,
Hmm.
and then realizes like he hears something coming from the bag. He doesn't realize like if it's just because he's high that he doesn't know what's going on. I was like, did that bag just like cough? What the hell? Or is it mumbling? And then he goes to the bag, and it's amazing how easy they're able to move this bag around, considering
Yeah.
there's a person in there, you know? It's a bag and
Well, I
slams it
think
down
that
and
kind
uns.
of gives you a sense there's something magical about it.
Yeah.
It's not normal.
So he unzips part of it, and a hand pops out of the bag, and he freaks out. He's like, "Oh my God!" Then he unzips the whole thing and opens it, and there's a guy in the bag, all twisted up and knotted, and saying how some bad people did this to me, and they're gonna be looking for me, but just help me get out of the suitcase. While as Justin sits there tries to pull him out of the suitcase. Anytime you cause pain to the man, he spits out a gold coin.
Hmm.
So the man spits out a gold coin and he grabs it and it's like, what the hell is this? And the guy says, it's part of my condition. Every time I'm caused pain, I spit out a gold coin. Help me get out of this bag, and you could reap the benefits of my condition.
Yeah, he was telling them, well, why don't you start with my leg? And
Yeah,
like him pulling out his leg caused him to cough up because it was causing him pain.
yeah. And then the kid kind of agrees to it, but the guy says, I need rest. Don't do anything else to me right now. Just hold off. And that's when the kid brings him upstairs to his bedroom and kind of like just passes out. He takes the coin to a pawn shop and finds out the coin's like rare and it's worth damn. How much money was did they actually give him for that coin? Is it
300 and some dollars.
300 some dollars? But it's like ancient coin
Yeah. And I don't
from
know
a
if you
certain
know who the pawn shop guy was or the gold guy taking gold. It was Big Boy from
big boy.
Outcast.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he could have got more money for a coin like that,
Oh,
considering how
yeah.
old it was. But he gets this money and he ends up meeting with his roommate friend, supposedly asshole,
Hmm.
tells him about the coin, saying, "Oh yeah, I found it in luggage." Friend's a dick, basically just taking advantage, but saying, "Hey, I could have got you more money. You should have asked for this much. You should have asked for five." All this
Hmm.
stuff, and just being a complete douche, eating his food and stuff. They get back to the house because the guy was saying, "Well, do you have any more coins?" And he's like, "Well, yeah, kinda." So let's go look at them. Gets back to the house or the apartment, and then that's when the girlfriend's there, and she or the ex girlfriend like freaks out and like says like, "How could you do this? You didn't tell me you were a freaking murderer and all this stuff." Because she finds the guy's hand sticking out of the suitcase. Oh no, this is what happened. This guy's in here. He's stuck. Somebody's looking for him. I'm trying to get him out. So they try to pull him out, and he spits up more gold coins.
Before then, they were kind of hurting him so they could collect coins. And
Yeah,
it built up to a point where they kicked him down the stairs so they could get all the coins that they possibly could.
yeah. Like it was taking too long by them
Yeah.
just hurting him
And
slowly.
and two, Justin was saying, well, I don't want to do this for too long. We're only going to do this for 48 hours. We're
Yeah,
only going
48
to
hours.
torture him
Like
for 48 hours, which is sadistic in itself. You know, just a limited time. That's any time. Because I don't know about you, but if I would have found the suitcase and some dude that was talking to me in the suitcase, I would have turned the suitcase upside down and then just lifted up the suitcase and it would have been over.
there you go, bro.
But then we wouldn't have been in a Creepshow episode. So,
Yeah, but we probably would have been rewarded
yeah,
a lot
sure.
better.
Hmm.
Because like the guy even made like I'm just gonna call him a genie.
Hmm.
He actually made like an agreement kind of with Justin's like, hey, you get me out of the suitcase, you'll reap the benefits of what happens to me. The pain you cause and I spit up coins, I'll give you any of those coins. They'll be yours. Then I'll be free. And I think that would have been in Justin's mind, that was a good agreement. And he said, yeah, I'll do that. And then the whole 48 hours thing. Justin was still trying to make like a deal. It's like, okay, no, we can't just keep hurting this guy forever. Somebody's bound to be looking for this dude. I mean,
That's what he
obviously,
alluded to. Like the cartel was looking to him and
bad
they
people are
lost
looking
the
for him.
suitcase. Hmm.
We can't just they're gonna know. Like
Yeah.
these things have to be tracked somehow.
And they could be coming for him right now. That's what the
Yeah.
genie alluded to. And but I think it was just a farce for him to see what this how the situation would unfold.
Yeah, see how far things would go. And what's jacked up is she's sleeping with Alex the whole freaking time.
Hmm.
Like that's freaking
Yeah.
treacherous. What
They're
what
doing it and
dirty
he
ass
comes
people.
upstairs. Justin comes
Yeah.
back upstairs to his home and that's what they're doing and Alex runs off into his room and closes the door and then she goes back to normal. Yeah, she's what a dirt.
Oh,
They're both dirty.
yeah,
Motherfucker.
dirty, dirty. I'm so glad they got what came to him.
Yeah.
It pissed me off so much when that happens. Like, oh man, that's fucking jacked
Yeah,
up.
it is.
But it's to the point where like Justin's like, hey, I'm done with this. We're done with this. I'm gonna stop. And the Jin's like kind of laughing at him and stuff, saying, "Oh, if you just keep going, go a little bit further, I'll finally die.
Yeah,
Just stop my heart."
he's begging for
Because
death.
what they're doing is they're hooking up like a battery to him and
Hmm.
just shocking the shit out of him, but they're only going so high. And Alex just cranks it, and that's when that Justin just wants nothing to do with this. He tries to go downstairs, and Carla, his girlfriend, hits him over the head, just falls down the stairs,
Hmm.
and that's
Seemingly
when
dead.
Yeah, they think he's dead. He's basically done. So that's when Alex says, "Well, one more last hurrah, and we're getting the fuck out of here. We can go
Hmm.
anywhere we want. We can go to France. We can do all this." So he shocks the genie, and then the genie's eyes glow yellow, and that's when he basically tells him, "You've been naughty little children, and you're gonna get what's coming to you." And he pops out of the freaking suitcase, and he turns into a genie. I'm surprised he didn't really go after Justin as much. I think Justin kind of saved his own ass when he said, "I'm done. I'm out. I'm washing my hands of this. This
Yeah.
is too
I
messed
think he
up."
was generally empathetic and he wouldn't normally get caught up into the money and all that.
Hmm.
But his friends or his ex-girlfriend and his friends really drug him into it. So
Yeah,
really in all, he had some type of heart, and that's what he was showing.
because that's what we get to the whole entire point where like Justin's in the hospital and he's recovering. He has a bandage on his head. He's pretty fucked up. He's laying in a hospital bed, and then he sees like this vase of flowers with a card on it, the card from the gin. And then what's cool is it cuts to the airport, and this guy, he's out of the suitcase now. The
Yeah. He looks well-to-do. He's
Yeah, he
well-dressed,
looks like a well-to-do businessman
and
from
he's
India,
checking in bags, the same bag that he was in.
and he has like 10 of these bags, and they're all moving and stuff and wiggling and screaming. And what he basically did is put all those people who were bad and greedy, like, so he's been doing this for a while. It looks
Mhm.
like,
And that's the way that I think that they're being cursed is that they're put in a suitcase to be tortured and they
yeah,
can't get out of it.
yeah. So he basically just anybody who was too greedy and evil, he basically just puts them in the suitcase to be tortured the same
Hmm.
way. And everybody at the airlines are like just with it. It's like, oh yeah, we'll do anything for you. You're like our greatest customer. Of course,
Hmm.
we'll take care of you. You know? And he's taking
Yeah.
them all back. Man, what a good freaking ending. Those assholes got their comeuppance. I loved it.
Hmm. So which
And
one
it,
do you like better between Hallows Eve
damn.
and Man in a Suitcase?
Yeah, this was a tough one for me because I love the Man in the Suitcase one because of the Jin aspect of it. I always like those tales of Jin. Sure, you could wish for something, but it's not going to come out right. It's just like the monkey's paw. There's always a horrible catch.
Yeah.
I did like that aspect, and I don't know. Both of them are. I don't know. To me, both of them seem like tales of revenge in a way. I guess not revenge for the genie one. It was more of a your lesson's been learned. You know, you did wrong.
Yeah. It's more a matter of a responsibility thing.
Yeah, I'd probably go with All Hallows Eve, to be honest. That was the good one. It kills me to say that because Man in a Suitcase. If Man in a Suitcase could have been in any other freaking episode, I'd have been happy.
Hmm.
That would have been my number one pick because I love that episode. But no, All Hallows Eve just had such great storytelling, and I enjoyed it.
I would do the same, but I really like The Man in the Suitcase, but All Hallows Eve just had such heart to it. And
Yeah, it just
I
man, it
loved
beats
it so
out.
much. I love that episode. And I don't know, like All Hallows Eve versus House in the Head, I think I would pick All Hallows Eve so far.
Yeah, I man, it's tough. That one was a tough one. But yeah, All Hallows Eve probably would have been my pick for sure. Just because the story time was great.
Moving on to episode 4.1, The Companion.
Yes.
It's about a teenage boy, Harold, who's fishing by the riverside. He encounters his friend Smitty, who's riding his bike on the upper part of the bridge, and he knows that Harold is being constantly abused by his brother Billy. His brother Billy's just a terrible person, always bullying him and beating him up. You get a sense he's getting a peace of mind just fishing out there. Kind of makes you think like he might just appear from behind the bridge and or jump out of the woods and beat up Smitty or Harold both, but Smitty ends up giving Harold a lunch bucket and it has cupcakes in it and sweets just to make him feel better. And nothing surprisingly happens to Smitty. I don't know if you've seen on the bridge talk about Easter eggs, but there was a Beware of Pennywise tag on the bridge. Did you notice?
Yeah, I did. That was cool.
Yeah. So that was pretty neat.
And
But
that kind of got to like I don't know, that feeling of them riding the bikes and on the bridge kind of brought me back to it. You know, it's kind of
yeah,
cool. And
well,
then
even
just
like
the dynamic of the kids.
the riverside, it reminds you of the original movie It, where
Yeah.
they're by the river all the time and they're playing down by the river. That's what
Yeah.
it made me think of. So it might even be the same place. What is the place called? That
Derry.
Derry. Yeah, that
Mm.
might be Derry. Billy shows up and he ends up chasing him for hours, seemingly, into the darkness.
Yeah, he gets into this property and it looks like an old farmland, essentially. Obviously, it is. There's a scarecrow up there. He runs past the scarecrow, and his sadistic brother's fucking chasing him. Guy's a POS, man, Billy.
Yes.
Chasing him, trying to hurt him. Keeps yelling, like, I'm gonna kill you. Well, this leads to the point where, like, he sees, like, a cane sticking out of the scarecrow, out of the scarecrow's chest. So he grabs it and yanks it out as a weapon against his own
To
brother, which
defend
is,
himself.
yeah, which is freaking wild to think, like, this guy's so bad that he's having to get a weapon to defend himself from his brother, you know?
Hmm.
So he ends up getting into the farmhouse. That's where he falls through the floor, and then he sees the body of the farmer dead, and he finds a note, and it's a suicide note. And what the farmer wrote down was, after he lost his wife, he had a really hard time, like just living.
And it
It
goes
was
into a
tough.
flashback sequence when he's reading it.
Yeah, this whole flashback sequence goes back to him lose. He's burying his wife and all this stuff. He gets sad. He's sitting in the rocking chair by himself on the porch. He decides to make himself a companion, and he basically like enthralls himself into making this companion. That's what's taking up his time, and it's making him feel a little bit better. And he's making a scarecrow is what he's doing. He's
Hmm.
binding his straw and everything, making a scarecrow. Well, then he grabs something. He need to give it a heart, and he finds an object from his wife, and it's like a crochet heart that he puts on there. He got that crochet heart, and that was
Yeah.
like one of the things. And then the scarecrow ends up coming alive because he puts it up, and I think he doesn't put it up, does he? I think it's sitting next to him.
Yeah, he puts it sitting next to him.
It moved, and he freaked out, and he drops his cup while it goes down, and like vines come out, and it picks up the cup, and it gives it back to him. And at
Hmm.
the time, like he's sitting there, and he has a companion, so he's like not feeling too bad. Well, Scarecrow does what Scarecrow does, and it protects the farm, and ends up killing a Girl Scout who came onto the property. In a way, like the Scarecrow's just like trying to, it's just doing its job, I guess. It's protecting the farm,
Yeah.
but it kills this little girl, not knowing, I'm not supposed to kill this stuff. So the farmer stabs it with his cane in the heart, and then goes down into the basement and just puts a double barrel shotgun or a shotgun and shoots himself.
Hmm. And I don't know if you correlated the two, but I thought it was kind of funny that it was a Scarecrow episode and the main character's boy's name was Harold, kind of like scary stories to tell in the dark, the Scarecrow named Harold.
Mm-hmm.
So I would think
No, that's
that's
kind of
what they
cool.
might have
I
been
didn't think
alluding
about
to.
that.
Hmm.
I didn't think about that. That's pretty good though.
Yeah.
Yeah, so after that, like, it goes out of the flashback, and the kid is still kind of hiding from Billy. Billy's wandering around, and eventually just leaves. Basically, just gives up, I guess, from trying to kill his brother.
After that, he's basically in control of the Scarecrow.
Yeah, he does gain control of the scarecrow. Oh, he just picked up the cane, and then this after that, that's when the scarecrow kind of realized, or that's when he realized he had control over the scarecrow because the
Hmm.
scarecrow's afraid of the cane.
Yeah, that's
Because he
what
picks up the
controls the
cane from the
Scarecrow.
farmer, and then the scarecrow kind of backs off, and then he realizes, hey, I'm in control of this thing now.
Hmm.
So then he goes back to his house and he stitches his brother into his bed,
Yeah, he sews
which
his
is pretty
brother into
funny.
bed.
Which is freaking funny because like you think you wake up, like I don't know how deep of a sleeper you are,
Yeah.
but
Well, I
if
mean,
someone
if
was
you're
stitched,
running all night into the night trying to find your brother,
yeah,
it's
yeah, I guess
exhausting.
trying to find your brother to kill him, you're probably tired.
Yeah.
So like his brother's passed out to the point where like his little brother's able to sew him into the freaking sheets, which is hilarious. Like mind you, didn't like sew him, like didn't stitch him into the sheet, just stitched the sheet over him essentially. So he's like stuck in the like a sleeping bag. He wakes up and he's like, "What the hell are you doing? I'm gonna kill you!" And I can't get out of the bed. And he's all pissed off. And then the kid just raises the cane basically and just has the scarecrow get rid of his brother as like revenge.
Hmm.
And that's kind of how it ends. It's just the kid controlling the scarecrow.
Yeah. It was a pretty cool episode.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one. It was really neat. But man, like, how the hell? It was one of those ones where like, how bad could it be? Like, how bad are you like to go after your own brother and try to kill him?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's pieces of shit like that though. And I'm just saying, like, there are people out there that are terrible. And, this stuff does happen. 4.2, Lydia Lane's better half. Lydia Lane, who is the CEO of a company, is choosing the CFO between her two employees, Tom and Celia. She decides to promote Tom, but we learn that afterwards, Celia is really Lydia's girlfriend. A fight ensues. Lydia accidentally kills Celia. Celia then returns from the dead to haunt Lydia.
Yeah, this one was it was an annoying episode for me, and it was almost
Agreed.
one of those ones where like I don't know if I really don't know if they were a thing, Lydia and Celia. Like it kind of alludes to it, but the way Celia's talking, it's not a thing. Lydia wants it to be a thing. Like she wanted a relationship, where Celia just wanted this to advance her career. It got to the point where 'cause she slaps Celia over all this argument and shit, and then Celia right away it clicks in her head, oh, that's assault, and I'm gonna get you in trouble now, and I'm gonna be the top person, and all this other stuff. And then that's when she pushes her, and then accidents ensue, and she trips over a couch and lands on
The award,
a obelisk-looking award that stabs her in the back of the dome.
which is reminiscent of when Lisa kicks Bart into her Nobel Peace Prize. Said, "Oh no, impaled by my Nobel Peace Prize. What an
Yeah,
ironic thing." If you remember
I
that.
do. Goddamn. That's funny.
Or Celia does say that I don't want to follow you because Lydia's trying to make it out to be like we could be part of this big thing. Just allow me to do this for you. She's more thinking
Yeah,
of a sense of care, but at the same time, Celia wants to have something for herself and not be led around by the tip of her nose everywhere. So
yeah.
that's
Like
where
she's
the problem ensues.
this almost reminiscent of like a modern tale of the Telltale Heart
Hmm.
because Celia's dead, but Lydia's like losing it because of the accidental death. She genuinely kind of like loved this person. You can see,
Yeah,
and then like she drags her, so she's trying to get her the hell out of the freaking building. So she's telling like people like, "Oh, go get the Tesla. Celia's not feeling well. She's gonna go home. This and that." She didn't take the news good. In the meantime, she's wheeling her in her chair, trying to get her out of the building without people noticing. And that's when they get stuck in like an elevator. Earthquake happens, and that kind of happens to the beginning. It's an earthquake, and like Lydia's not even phased by it. It's like, oh, it's just a 1.3 or a 3.2 in the Richter scale. It's nothing, whatever. Which I guess in LA, you just get kind of complacent. Like, if I visit LA and there's an earthquake, I'd probably freak the fuck out. I was like, oh, Jesus, what the hell? While all
yeah,
these other people's like, oh, yeah, the ground shakes here. It just
yeah.
happens.
It's just normal. It's okay. But
Get Go get a coffee.
before that happens, she carts her out in the office chair, and it's kind of weird. Like there's no cameras in the office or anything,
Yeah, I know, right?
and she runs into the person that she promoted in what was his name, Tom.
Tom.
Runs into Tom, and you're like, "Are you going to the party? We're gonna drink and everything." And she's like, "Oh, I'll be down," and she hides Lydia in the other room or Celia in the other room. And then she carts her out into the elevator, and that's where the earthquake happens, and she starts to see visions, or maybe she really is alive or
Yeah,
haunting her.
it's kind of crazy. And I think it was more of a, I think it was more of like her getting in her own mind because she's stuck in the elevator with a body of
Hmm.
the person she killed that she actually loved. Like, so she's basically seeing like the eyes open and stuff. She's closing them and they keep opening. And then like gets up and like chases her, grabs her and stuff. But it gets to the point where like she wants to call for help, but then she really can't because there's a dead body there, which is kind of dumb. Like, I'm pretty sure like you're a CEO and you have a lot of money like that, you could probably just explain what happened. It's like, hey, yeah, she got mad, she pushed me, and she fell over. Like she shoved me, I pushed her back to get her away from me. She tripped and she fell back on this thing. But by moving her and everything, it kind of screws you. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure she could have just got away with it. It's like I didn't kill this person; it was an accidental death,
Yeah,
But
it was
not thinking about that.
Hmm.
In the moment, it's like, oh my God, I gotta hide this body.
Yeah. I mean, I guess people would panic if something like that happened. So who
Yeah.
knows how people would react.
In the elevator, like she tries to get out. The firefighters get him contacting her through the emergency phone finally, and that's when they say, "Oh, we'll come get you." But it's been like 3 days since like they were able to get her out of
Yeah,
there.
it was.
So by then, like the madness has ensued. So she tries to open the elevator doors, tries to get out, and then the power comes on, and the elevator goes fling, and it decapitates her.
Yep.
And then when the firefighters open the door, they find Celia sitting up, smiling,
Hmm.
dead, and Lydia's head in her lap,
Yep.
which that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it was a good ending. So out of the two, Lydia Lane's better half and the companion, which one did you like better?
I like the companion better.
Yeah, me too.
Uh, Lydia's better half just that to me is like the whole entire narrative of girl bossing and all this other stuff just pissed me off. And
Yeah.
then it was
One
just
thing I will,
oh goddamn.
if I may interrupt, one thing I will say, Lydia Lane's better half, when Celia calls Lydia a cow, calling someone a cow in general is always effective. And
Yeah,
so when after she said that, I was like, oh yeah, I like this chick. But I thought it was pretty funny. It's just something to get
it's like,
distracted by.
get her,
Sorry.
get her.
Yeah.
Yes, it's like oh
It didn't work out for her, but she definitely called her a cow before.
yeah, man.
Like you comparing it to the Telltale Heart, that is very true. It's
Yeah, I think like I just kind of thought about it like now. I was like, you know what? That's really close to Telltale Heart. Like,
hmm
except for it's not a servant killing a boss. It's the boss killing the servant. Essentially,
yeah.
it's the roles are reversed. But she's basically going mad, being stuck in the elevator for 3 days with the body and just living with what she did.
And that brings me back to The Simpsons with the diorama rama, where she
Yeah,
she builds the Telltale Heart, and
the
Lisa
beating.
breaks down and says, "It's the hideous beating of the heart." But I agree with you.
Hmm.
The companion is definitely cooler episode between
Yeah,
the two.
it was better.
Going on to episode 5.1, The Night of the Paw. A
Yeah.
woman, Angela, is trying to evade the police and gets into an accident. A local mortician, Avery, finds her and tends to her injuries. Angela learns that Avery is hiding the secret of a magical monkey's paw.
Yes. So this was a really good. It was a nice retelling of the story. And if you've ever watched the story of the monkey's paw or ever read the story,
Hmm.
it goes back down to the be careful what you wish for. It's not always what it seems. It's the same thing with Jin. The three wish thing is always the same thing. It's you wish for something, something bad actually comes from it. It's not you get what you want, but it's not the way you want it. And that's how the story entails. Like the mortician, what's the mortician's name? So I know.
Avery.
Avery. Okay. Yeah,
Hmm.
so Avery, he basically fixes her up, Angela.
Hmm.
Yeah. So Angela's basically she's in bad shape. Was she shot or was
She was mangled in the accident,
she was
so
just mangled pretty bad. Oh yeah, so
her
he had to
fingers were messed
take
up, and she
he
had
had
a
to take
wound in her
fingers.
stomach.
He had to take her fingers away and one of them had her wedding ring on.
Hmm.
So he took those fingers and bandaged her up, fixed her up, and then bandaged her side. She wakes up and like pulls the gun on him, and Avery's just, yep, I know what's happening. It's cool. You're here for a reason, and explains the whole story to her. Gives her a nice wine, explains what's going on. He said they find him and his wife find this monkey's paw. It made
Yeah,
her wishes come true, and then she died. Then when he got it, the hand goes back, the monkey's paw goes
yeah,
back,
because
so it gives
their
him the wishes.
business was failing, and she wished for more money. And like you were saying, when you wish for something, there's something that will affect your wish, and she ends up dying. Like they were successful, but she fell off the,
Yeah, the whole
the
reason they got
ladder.
the money to save the mortuary was because she fell and the insurance from her
Yep.
dying gave him the money.
Hmm.
So Avery wishes for her back, not realizing that she's in a coffin.
Yeah.
What's it called? The eternal life or something like that? Or
Yeah.
it's like a special brand of coffin they have that's sealed permanently. So
Yeah.
he wishes for his wife to be back and doesn't realize till like 2 days later It's like, oh my God, she's in that coffin. She can't get out. So
Yeah,
he
because
has to
she
dig her
he
up.
hears her calling him
Yeah, so like he has to go out and like dig her out of the freaking grave and opens, and then she comes back, and then he wishes her dead,
because
like
she's
to
so
finally rest
horrible.
because she's so
She's trying
horrible.
to
Yeah.
kill him,
Once again,
and
he ends up she ends up biting his leg, so
hmm
he's like it
that's
gets
what I was about to
it
say.
gets pretty infected.
Hmm
But like it goes to the whole entire deal. Like you got to be careful what you wish for, or be like specific. So
Because he's telling the story to Angela, and
yeah,
he's alluding to, well, what he wants to happen is for Angela to kill him because he wants to just get rid of all his problems, and it's real straining on him that what happened to his wife and everything. He just wants to get away from it, and
yeah.
he's
It's been a
basically,
year since she's been dead,
hmm
and he wants to be with her, but he can't commit suicide because suicide's a mortal sin.
hmm
So he buys into the he's a Catholic, so he buys into the suicide being a mortal sin thing, going to hell.
and
So he wishes for somebody to kill him,
hmm
send him a killer.
that basically gives you a flashback of Angela where her husband is dying of a sickness or an illness, and she made a mercy kill on him, and that's what brought the whole story to a head, where she was running from the police because they discovered that she did that, and he's that's why Avery's using her to his means, thinking
Yeah,
she would mercy kill him. So he got himself in just the correct position for that to happen, so he thought.
yeah. So I thought it was like he thought she was like a murderer,
Hmm
but because that's kind of like what the I think the media was even stating because she was
Yeah.
wanted.
hmm
So Avery wishes for a killer to be brought to his doorstep to kill him, and a killer is brought, but it's not what he expects. She's not like a ruthless murderer. You find out like she actually mercy killed her husband. He's dying of cancer or something,
hmm
and like you said, he makes her shoot him. She ends up killing him.
Because she throws away the
He
monkey paw into the
She
fire.
throws the monkey's paw into the fire because he basically gifts it to her,
Hmm
which what an ass. Why would you gift this thing's giving you so much trouble? Why would you gift it to somebody else? Given this voodoo magic BS, throws it in
Yeah.
the fire. So he runs to go grab it. It's like, what are you doing? You can't do that. He grabs it and like it engulfs him in fire. And that's what ends up having her shoot him as a mercy thing. He's like, shoot me, shoot me. He's on
Yeah.
fire, burning. So she's like, oh my God. She shoots him. And then like as soon as she shoots him, the fire goes away and then he just falls and dies. She grabs the paw, and then the paw opens up again, and she gets the three wishes. And then I know, I think one of her wishes was like to find the keys because the keys fall,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh great. And then
But
like another
she
wish is for the
I
vehicle to start,
I thought it
and I
was weird because she didn't audibly wish for it. It's kind of more like she thought
yeah, it was
about
more
it.
like psychological thinking of it.
Mhm.
She didn't like, oh, I wish this vehicle would start, but like the paw just automatically did it. Like the key fell, and all of a sudden, a finger went down. Then the vehicle starts. Like,
Yeah.
damn, what the hell? It's like I didn't want my wishes to be wasted on that. That's bullshit. I'd be
Yeah.
mad. Then she ends up going to the morgue to see her dead husband, and the paw goes down, and it alludes that she wants her husband to come back, and everyone in the morgue pops up,
Resurrected.
resurrects, and then it ends.
Yeah. It's a cool way to
S-
end.
yeah, it was a cool one. It was like a retelling of. It was cool because it was a retelling of the monkey's paw,
Hmm
and I really enjoyed that episode. I just like that story in
Yeah,
general. I
it's
want a monkey's paw. So
yeah. It's just a cool episode. And two, I can't help but bring up The Simpsons because they had a Monkey Paws episode in the Treehouse of Horror. And of all people, Homer Simpson figures it out where you got to wish specific. And he was the last wish he wished for is a turkey sandwich. He said, I don't want anyone to turn weird or I don't want anything to happen. All I want is a turkey sandwich. And he bites into it and he says, the bread is good. And he was describing everything. And he says, but the turkey's dry. And he's like, oh, the turkey's dry. It's- so, that was the monkey bar's last curse.
coming back. Coming back to Treehouse of Horror, one of my favorite ones is the cursed doll.
Yeah.
It comes with a free Frogurt.
Yeah.
Can I just leave?
Yeah. The Frogger is also cursed.
Just go home.
Yeah. It was a good episode. I really liked the monkey paw. Episode
That's good or that's
5.2.
bad.
Yeah. Episode 5.2, Times is Tough in Musky Holler. In an underground prison cell, there are people imprisoned, one of them former Mayor Lester Barkley, also Sheriff Deke, gossiper Leslie Ann Dowd, newscaster Don Pomade, and Pastor Michael Ryan, or Mitchell Ryan, sorry. They're in prison per their corruption and they discover their ultimate punishment.
Yes.
So you find out that these people they break down in what's the guy's name? I can't think of his name. He's an actor and a bunch of
The one
stuff.
from Scream,
Yeah, the one from Scream. What's his
the
name?
sheriff from Scream, it's David Arquette.
David Arquette. So he's
Yeah.
the sheriff in the story, and it breaks down. It goes into flashback sequence where they're all these people that they have in a cell are corrupt, and it runs down everything that they're doing, and you find out that the people that are outside the cell controlling them, trying to take them out to their final doom, are people trying to get retribution, or the people that they victimized.
What's going on? I don't know if you got this from the show or not. I'm sorry to like just
No, go
set
ahead.
you off, but it's a zombie apocalypse essentially.
Hmm.
And this little town, Musky Holler, obviously this bad shit's happened prior to it. It's been they had their own problems to begin with, but that Lester M. Barclay, I have to put the M in there because that's what he always yells out. I'm
Yeah.
Lester M. Barclay, I'm the mayor of this town. He basically used the zombie apocalypse thing as a way to get him and his little cronies in like to town and take over the town and just run it the way he wanted to. And then he just killed any opposition to him. He killed the previous mayor, they killed the previous sheriff. It was anybody who was going against him, he killed.
Hmm.
Like he just got rid of them and he used zombies to do it. The whole reason why they're underground is because they built like a coliseum essentially. What they're using
Yeah.
is the old
You're
football
right.
stadium to raise them up to play this game, and they're betting on like it's basically like a betting track essentially is what they're doing, and it's really fucked up. Like you don't find out what's going on until the end.
The end in.
Like yeah, the end. So like they end up Lottie is this the one who ends up telling him like, if it was up to me, you'd all die, but you know what? No, you're gonna die last, and this is how it's gonna happen. And the way you're gonna die is the way you killed our loved ones and the people we cared about. It's gonna be the last time we're gonna use this game, and you're gonna fucking die. And it's not gonna be quick. It's gonna be fucking horrible because the sheriff wants the son to. So he keeps egging on one of the guys, and it's the son of the old sheriff is what it is. You find out later because he keeps egging him on. It's like you don't have the balls to do this. Why don't you just shoot me now? Shoot me now, you little bitch. And like he wants him to shoot him, because he doesn't want what's gonna happen to him.
When
He
it
doesn't want it to
happened to him.
happen.
Hmm.
He wants to die quick. He doesn't want. So he keeps trying to like antagonize the kid. It's like you don't have the balls. You could just shoot me. You could just do it now. Do it. And the kid's no, I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna make you suffer too. Fuck
Hmm.
off. So it's kind of a cool way to do it, but yeah, what it is it was a asshole who was corrupt and basically just took over a town in a bad situation, and then when things got better, when the country actually fought off the zombies and things got back to normal, that's when they found like they said, no, we're not we're not letting you rule us this way, the way you did it, and this is dirty.
Hmm.
That's kind of what happened.
Yeah, so they're chained up and they're bringing him into the arena, and they have a little elevator type contraption where they're just pushing their head through the top, and that's their ultimate doom is they're sending in zombies to attack them while their head is, what would you say? It's not, what's the opposite of submerged? It's
It's the only thing that's above
exposed, I
ground. It's
guess.
the only thing exposed through the
Hmm.
hole. So like if you ever seen like the whole entire trope of like people being buried in the sand and ants eating them alive,
Hmm. It's
it's
the same
essentially the
thing.
same thing.
Hmm.
Just that instead of being buried, they're raised up in a chair. But what you find out too is that this is what they used to kill the previous people and
Hmm.
take over. So what they end up doing is like they cut off the arms and the was it the cut they cut off the arms and the legs of the zombies? So it's basically like little stubs moving. Like they can still move, but the hands are gone.
Yeah, it's slowly they could only bite.
So it's just the torso moving, like with elbows, so they can
Hmm.
only bite. And it's kind of crazy because you see like what's going on, but it's the last time they're doing it, and they're betting on it. Like so, there's a big old screen up on there, and you see like the heads of the people
Hmm.
in like this little triangle formation, and then you see like, oh, who's gonna get it first? And like the announce, oh, it's so and so, it's the pasture. What's kind of cool is the fact that like the zombies. So they used the zombies they used were the ones that they killed. So like the old mayor was
Yeah.
used, the old sheriff was used, and you can see it, and it's the way they killed him in that way because the zombies when they're eating, their faces are all ripped off, and you see it at the end when it eats the mayor.
Yeah.
He yells out, "You can have the position. I don't want it."
Yeah.
Just in a way, I kind of wish you would have saw the horrible acts, but in a way, I'm kind of glad you didn't
Hmm.
because then like just alluding to it, it brings to your own imagination like what they've done. So
Like, well, you just know that it had to be really bad for them to get this all
yeah,
bait.
and that's one of the good things about it is like instead of showing you the actions that they caused or the actions that caused them to get into this situation, your own imagination is far worse than what they've actually done.
It's a good way to look at it. Like, you know, this, you didn't see it, but it had to be so
It
bad.
had
It's
been
deep in your
horrific.
mind. Yeah. So between the two, Night of the Paw and Times Tough at Musky Holler, which one do you
Oh,
pick?
not at the paw for
Yeah.
sure.
No
Like,
question. Me too.
yeah, it's no questions at all. Like, it was okay. Musky Hollow was okay, but it wasn't the end all be all best. Monkey's Paw beat it out for sure.
For sure. Going into our final two of episode six, 6.1 is Skincrawlers. An overweight man named Henry visits the building of Dr. Herbert Sloan, whose miracle cure, Skin Deep by Sloan, makes for instantaneous weight loss. Henry soon discovers that the procedure is performed by monstrous approach.
It's one of those if it's too good to be true, it probably is.
Hmm.
Straight up, And I think that's what Henry kind of figured out. Like, and thank God it didn't happen to him, but I feel I feel like it probably could have happened to him anyway. You know what almost reminded me of was in a way was Dreamcatcher.
Okay.
The bullshit worm thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the monster. That it was almost like that. It was kind of interesting. But who could not see this coming? The whole entire parasitic
Mhm. Yeah.
worm thing. It's like, good Lord. But the whole entire deal is Sloane finds this worm in the Amazon and it only eats fat, supposedly. But whatever it eats, you gotta know it's gotta
Have
lay eggs too,
consequences. Yeah.
Like it's so it was kind of cool. It was a neat take on a parasitic infection. What I thought was interesting was the whole entire fact that the eclipse affects it and causes them to essentially explode out and create more.
Hmm.
So I don't know what the deal was with the eclipse. It's just the whole magnetic field making animals act weird and freaking them out. And I don't know if it just supercharged them or if these worms that they pulled from the Amazon they weren't supposed to take out of this area regardless. You know, they were in a ecosystem that was only sustaining them and
Yeah.
they basically just brought on doom to themselves because they took it out of said ecosystem and they're thriving now. Because
And
essentially anybody that used the procedure got infected
mhm.
and more worms sprung out from it. So they were like incubators in a way. Well, that's exactly what they were. They were incubators for the worms or the
And I thought,
parasite site.
yeah, and I thought it was weird. Henry, after all this time, Henry was the only one that questioned, like, "Oh, you're gonna put this creepy fucking worm on me?" I was like, "No, thanks.
Yeah, I was like,
I'm not
no, I
gonna
can do
do
that.
that." So it's like no one else went into there thinking they're just more concerned like sucking the fat out of me rather than, yeah, don't put this worm on me. It's okay.
Oh my God. So I got to screenshot this real quick because it's funny as hell. And I got to send it to you or show it to you if you can see it. I use my other iPad for like IMDb and stuff, so I can like kind of look at the characters' names and everything
Hmm.
on there, and it went away. the ad went away, but it has sponsors on there. One of them was weight loss for
Oh,
this
really?
episode.
Just talking
Yeah,
about it?
dude, it was there and it had like the body images of like a really fat person going down to a slim person. It's like, oh man, how
Oh,
ironic.
that's very ironic.
And oh, speaking about that, cool Easter egg in this one. I don't know if you saw it, but when Sloane first meets Henry and they're talking and he's offering him donuts and stuff, in the background, there's a statue of Pazuzu.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, from
I
The
forgot about
Exorcist.
that. I
Oh,
did.
there it is. There's the screenshot, and there's the fat people.
That's hilarious.
Oh yeah, it was funny as hell. Of all things, the pop up's like, what? What do you think about this episode in general? Like, did you like it?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, even when it came up to a head where everybody was exploding around him, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm glad I didn't take part of this." And the only thing I was worried about, like him getting blood and like the worms
That's
going into
what
his mouth.
that's what I was thinking. Because
Yeah.
like the parasites were literally like just all over them. Like you could see it in their eyes and stuff, and then the
Mm,
amount of like worms that are coming out of their bodies was insane. I don't know if it just popped up because of the eclipse or if that's just what it was, if the eclipse just brought it on sooner. I don't know. It was kind of weird or advanced it. The eclipse thing was weird about it.
yeah,
I think they could have done the whole entire deal without the eclipse.
yeah.
Like
I
the
mean,
eclipse didn't matter.
they could have, but I mean, that's kind of made it a sense where he might have done this for a lengthy time and it's working and
Yeah,
everything is good, but the eclipse is so rare. If that's what bring it on, I think that's what made it better because it didn't happen up until that point. And when it
yeah,
finally did, it's like, oh shit, we shouldn't be doing this. So
yeah, for sure.
otherwise they would have found out right away and people would have exploded and the trials would have failed like he was talking about the trials and it's worked during the trials. So
Yeah,
why
and
wouldn't it work now?
that was the one thing I was worried about with Henry too. Is the same thing you were worried about, like, all the blood that got in his face and stuff when that person exploded, and oh man, and then like the crushing of the worm with the vending machine, then him
Yeah.
with his bloody, gross hands
Yeah, picked
opening
up the
up a
big
freaking
hunk.
big hunk
Yeah,
and eating. It's like, dude, why? Just stop.
yeah, and that's what I thought at the end. It's like, what a piece of shit. Just leave it there.
Stop eating, you fat fuck.
This it was a good ending though. I mean,
Yeah, it was good.
even
It was
just
a good episode.
yeah, just thinking about it in
Uh,
that from our perspective, it's pretty funny. The final episode, 6.2, Silver Water of Lake Champlain. It was Columbus Day of 1984 in the lakeside town. Teenager Rose has become obsessed with searching for Champ, the lake monster, in a session bestowed to her by her late father. Unfortunately for Rose, her brother Joseph, along with Thomas, her love interest, they have to deal with an abusive Vietnam vet stepfather named Chet. In the episode, that's what it's based upon is that the father has passed away and the daughter's looking for Champ. Unfortunately, there's Chet, the mother, her name is Lee of the children who married Chet, is a submissive person to Chet and she just doesn't want to be abused. She knows what's going on and she's, in love and just following through with everything that's going on and okay with it because she has to be because Chet's so abusive and he's just constantly on the kid. So that was the basis of the story. Like, and that's a long running thing of Creepshow where there's an antagonist who's a bully and people get retribution, which I don't have
yeah,
a problem with. I think the
they get their
angles that they
comeuppance.
done it are pretty cool. During everything that was going on, her love interest was Thomas, and he shows up and he's dressed up like Rambo, like 1984. He's just taking part of what's going on. The current movie is Rambo, and like Chet is condescending to Thomas, saying like I was the real Rambo. I was the one out there in Vietnam, and he makes belittles him, and Thomas is real afraid of him. What ends up happening is that they find a dead sea monster, which is Champ, like an old plesiosaur from the dinosaur era, which people say
It's
that
a Leopleurodon, Charlie. A magical
yeah.
Leopleurodon. Sorry, had to get
And
that
they
out there at least.
they find it beached on the lake. They're amazed by it. They're like, "Yeah, my dad was right." Rose was saying that, and the brother goes down, the brother Joseph, which is Rose's brother, and there's like, "Dad was completely right. Here's Champ, and here's proof of it." Rose goes and tells her brother Joseph, "Go get mom. Like, dad was totally right. She needs to see this thing." And by the time the mother gets there, it's gone. And because the mother drug it away. And they were like,
Yeah.
well, I wish I got it would have got evidence of it. The camera that they were taking, it got put in the water and they're just thinking that it's no good. And off in the distance you see the mother and it's in the fog because they're surrounded by fog. It's just
Yeah, but their mom sees it, they'll go, and so she
yeah,
believes.
yeah, and that's when she believes. So it kind of gives her a sense of connection to the ex-husband that he wasn't doing this for nothing because he never found anything, but she saw it, and it's kind of like it could be like a sign for her husband, like a sort of sense of comfort that you're finally seeing
No, it's
this.
more, see, I freaking told you so. Not
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah,
Damn
it
it.
could be that, or it could be that angle. It's as a send off, like, see, I told you, bitch. I told you it
Yeah.
existed.
I told you it's real. I wasn't crazy. Hey, what was the deal with the whole entire or Thomas carving Rose's name into the freaking plesiosaur? What was that
I
all
thought
about?
that was kind of weird, necessary.
Wait, that might have happened though, because that's when that asshole grabbed the knife. Chet, he had the freaking knife in his hand, and that's
Mhm.
when the mom looked at it and saw, and then saw the dude with the knife. So then she eats him.
Yeah.
So that
So,
might have been like,
yeah, yeah, there you go. That's
so that
okay.
was the justification. Like, oh
That
fuck
was
this
the
guy. This guy just
justification. You're
desecrated
right.
my corpse.
You're
Chomp.
completely right.
I thought the knife. I thought it was the knife that. This is how tired I was. I thought it was the knife that floated back to shore, but it was actually Chet's leg. I
Yeah.
thought the knife came back all mangled. I was like, oh man, that motherly absurd on her plesiosaur was pissed. So it spit out the knife. You know, that's why I was mad. But that's why I ate him.
Yeah, so luckily, what's his name? Thomas did do that because it
Yeah,
saved their life.
it did.
I would say it's a dead heat between the two. Both of them were equally okay.
Yeah, I like Skincrawlers personally. I like the whole parasitic thing, the worm stuff. That was interesting. It was one of those, to me. It's one of those the dangers of the quick cure. It's like the Ozempic stuff. Like nowadays,
Yeah.
it's like it's people who just it's punishing people who are essentially just lazy.
Yep.
Like, because there's some people who actually need the medication, like to live. I mean, or it helps them out. Like people who are diabetic and stuff, and actually use Ozempic and the shots. Hey, it's legit. They're using it to control blood sugar and stuff like that. I mean, I'm one of them. I don't use Ozempic, but I use one called Monjaro once a week, and it's to help the diabetes. But in turn, you still got to do stuff on your own. Like me, I'm exercising and shit. So if there's a cure-all like fast, like you think you can just do whatever the fuck you want, yeah, fuck you. So that's why I like skin crawlers because it's like, oh, these people, they just got the cure-all. Oh, I could eat and do whatever I want with no consequences. Screw it, because this thing's just gonna eat my fat. Awesome.
Final thoughts. We wanted to pick an episode, which is the best. What do you think is the best episode of the whole
Oh
series?
God, out of the whole series, what would be the best? You know what? I'm probably gonna go All Hallows Eve. Man, I that was such a good story, and it just tugged at the heartstrings. To me, that was just well done. It's
It
like, oh
is.
man, because you don't realize what's happened until the very end, and then like after that, like you get like emotional about it's like, oh man, that was sad. That was a
It is.
really sad fucking show, but it was so well done.
What about a runner-up?
Runner up, Man in the Bag, the genie
Okay.
one would be my runner up because that was one of my favorite episodes.
Hmm.
I just love the whole tale of this thing would have just rewarded you if you were just decent. If you were a decent human being, the fact you were an asshole, it punished you.
For me, it would definitely be All Hallows Eve. That was my favorite episode. It was
Yeah.
just so cool. The way that it was done, how contentious the characters were, even though that some of them weren't, that they were fueled by like what happened to them, and then it's revealed what really happened to them. And it's like, yeah, they have a right to do what they did and to be as aggressive to the kids, the one in the skeleton suit and the devil boy were aggressive and they really didn't care about anything, and that's the reason why. And they were all right to, and it was just a cool episode. And my runner-up, and it was hard to decide, was House of the Head, and the way that the writers or the director just let Evie have it. And like I said, they didn't let the parents interrupt or become a main character or try to interject anything that going on. She handled it herself and she figured it out, and she even down to the point where she gave it away instead of getting the parents involved and thinking that she's crazy or telling them something's going on. Like they were oblivious to everything that were going on. And I really like the way that was handled. So,
Oh man, but I wonder like if she regrets giving it away, knowing that
I mean, she was
it
just
could
thinking
possibly
of
do something.
self-preservation. Like she knew she was conscious enough. If she said anything, it would make her crazy. No one would believe her because she's so little.
Yeah.
But so she handled it the best way she could without, I mean, even if she went outside and she burned the house, they'd be like, this chick needs help. So
Yeah, why'd
it's
she
just
burn
the
her
perfect
house?
way to send it off. Like she was just conscious enough. The
It's
writers
like
were
I we need to get rid of this thing.
favored that
It's
consciousness. Yeah. I think it was so
yeah.
cool. It's, damn someone if someone gets it from the church sale. Like,
Yeah.
like I need to get rid of this thing. So
Somebody else can figure this out.
it was pretty
It's
cool.
the little girl is basically it's beyond me and my means. I can't figure this out. Get
Mhm.
rid of this thing before it hurts my family.
Yep.
Let
Yeah.
somebody else with more power figure this thing out.
Yep.
Maybe that's why they're trying to sell it at a church sale.
Yeah.
Maybe that was
She
her
was
mindset
thinking
too.
that
Is
they could
like
get rid of it or like
maybe a
expunge
priest
it.
could do it.
Hmm. And I think overall the Creep Show was really refreshing from newer horror stuff. Just
Oh
those
yeah.
episodes alone, like with All Hallows Eve, The Head, and Man in the Suitcase, is just refreshing because everything is repetitive. I mean, the only thing that I could say is that we've seen weapons recently, and that was pretty cool and original.
Yes.
Just
It was.
even like long legs is akin to somewhat of weapons in a sense, but I mean, just these original stories are just, they're so great. They're so great.
It's nice to have a fresh take on stuff, or not even just a fresh take, but just something. Well, yeah, I guess a fresh take if you think
Mhm.
about it, because Weapons is a fresh take on witches,
Yeah,
essentially, and like the power they have and
on
stuff, and like the
witchcraft.
power of like voodoo and all that. So that was cool, and it was a really cool take on it.
Yeah,
Well, I'm really looking forward to. I really hope they do a sequel or a prequel to it.
yeah, they
See
are.
what like how that witch Gladys like actually came to
And
be.
and the bad thing
Spoiler,
about
by
it
the way.
is
Sorry, everybody.
it was so horrifying, but she was so fun.
Yeah.
It's like it made you laugh in places. It was good. It was just a good movie. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was awesome. Long Legs, like you said, was another one like that. I was like, man, what a crazy freaking movie. And it was a good movie.
Oh yeah, just how
You
dark
know.
it was, man. It
Yeah,
absorbed you right
shit.
into the movie. It's so dark. And then you find out later all the appearances of the devil that were in it.
Yeah.
That's pretty haunting too.
Hmm.
So it's both very well done.
That's one
But
I'm gonna definitely have to watch that one again, man. Because I
yeah.
watched it at the drive-in.
Okay, yeah,
It
you
was kind of
definitely have
cool.
to do it. I want to wait a couple more years so I could just come into it fresh. I want to forget everything.
Yeah, same here. And I want to see it like where I can actually sit down and watch it and see the dark spots and pause it and do what I gotta do. Because the
Watch it in the
drive-in's a
dark.
little tough.
Hmm.
Driving's a little hard because the projection screens aren't the best quality, but it was still a good freaking movie to watch at the drive-in. It was
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, that's pretty cool. But just to end the episode, this was our full review and breakdown of Creepshow season one.
Season
We're
one.
gonna do the special, the animated special, and the Christmas special. Then we'll go into season two, three, and four. So look forward to that. We won't do it every Halloween. We determined that we're going to do it over time in the near future. But we have that going on. We also did an episode with our friend of the show, Suchi, and Dr. Plops. We did our favorite our movie, our favorite Halloween movie, and that was really fun. So those are the things coming up from now. But thank you everybody
Poor
for watching.
plops.
Yeah, poor Plops. I had to subtitle him in some places. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But salute everybody. Thank you for watching Villains and Creeps.
Yeah.